All right, we are about to wrap up this fuel injector and pod replacement. You can buy these, the injector pod on top there, or it looks like a cradle, but it's called the injector pod. You can buy those for less than $200. Perfect with new injectors and everything. Already got gaskets built in, where injectors themselves can sometimes cost $80 to $100 a piece if they're any good, or a name brand or whatnot. Where this is I think it's a refurbished injector pod, and yeah, pretty sweet. Not all that expensive. Let me get the camera aligned here. The only, what I'd say, tricky parts of putting this back together would be back here where the fuel lines come in. It is, you've got a 20 millimeter and a 16 millimeter here. Make sure you replace those. There's a plastic gasket up here on this guy. There's a rubber gasket on this guy, and then there's a rubber gasket on the line itself. So make sure you replace those, because mine were original and they looked horrible. And it's a little tricky to get them in there because you don't have much room to work with. So just make sure you thread them in carefully. You can put some thread sealant on there also, just to make sure nothing leaks fuel wise. And don't over tighten them, of course, because these are these aren't the sturdiest metals in the world. They're like aluminum, I'm sure, so you don't want to over torque them. But just thread them in there carefully by hand at first, and you may have to kind of wiggle around the fuel line to get it to line up just right. Otherwise you'll cross thread the thing, and you're talking big trouble if you do that. So just be careful when you're rethreading all this back here behind where the fuel lines come in on both sides. And the smaller one is over here, the larger one is over here. So when you see the two fittings that come off right here, the large one is here, the small one is on the other side. Anyway, looking good though. I cleaned off the top of the throttle body. I didn't even know it had TBI written on it. And it's got, look at that, it's got Rochester products, and it's got a serial number on the side. I didn't know it had any of that, because it was kind of dirty before. So looks pretty sweet, all cleaned up. And we're about done putting her back together. Got other videos on what was going on with this truck, and it's a long story and whatnot, but we're about to the end of the rainbow, thank goodness. So check out our other we got other videos on all kinds of projects we've done to this guy. 1990 K1500, really good running old truck. It's only got about 160,000 miles, I think, but I'm not too sure about the mileage. All kinds of stuff we've done to it, in the past couple of years. Good running truck, it's just one of those good running trucks. I mean, look at this interior, it's like crazy how it looks, it looks almost friggin' new in here. Of course, there's a lot of stuff that's been replaced and things over time, but carpeting is original, door panels original, seats original, back seats original. Pretty much everything's original. It's all just been little things that have been replaced, either to make it work better or sound better, or just do better. Anywho, quite a project. I've never done this kind of thing before, with the throttle body injection. Never messed with that before, so it was a nice learning experience, but not impossible. Just take your time and make sure you keep track of everything you've done. And you can buy, kits and everything, but the new injector pod already had gaskets and all that on it. So this was like a spare set of gaskets. And then we'll put this guy on top right there before we put the air cleaner back on. So, fun, lots of fun, that's all I can say. Y'all check out our other videos. Like, subscribe, follow, click the bell. We'll see y'all later.